Welcome to Makers of Tomorrow, the podcast where each episode we talk with founders, industry leaders, and innovators to explore the latest trends shaping brands and the consumer experience.
We are your hosts, Karine Mallet and Corey Gottlieb, founders of Replica, the social selling platform revolutionizing how brands connect, inspire, and sell in today's digital world. So whether you're a brand leader, entrepreneur, or just fascinated by the evolution of digital commerce, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Today, we are taking a deep dive into the digital evolution of beauty with Antik Patel, Senior Vice President of Growth at uBeauty. uBeauty was founded by Tina Chen Craig, a pioneer in influencer marketing and luxury skincare. uBeauty has redefined the industry with science-backed, multifunctional formulas designed to do more with less. Welcome, AJ. Let's dive in.
uBeauty believes in doing more with less. So how this idea influence the way you create products?
Yeah, I think a lot of it, there's a lot of cosmetic confusion out there. A lot of consumers have 10 to 15 products which they try to utilize. And we've really tried to reduce the amount of products that are required while providing equally as efficacious product benefits. We utilize a patent pending siren capsule technology, which basically allows us to attract to the free radicals in problem areas of your skin. Essentially, we target areas of your skin where there's damage and we leave the healthy skin alone. So our products utilize much lower levels of actives versus traditional skincare brands, while we're able to provide equally as efficacious treatment to the consumer.
So if I rephrase that question a little bit, what makes uBeauty's products differentiators or stand out in the luxury marketplace? Like your quick elevator pitch would be what?
My quick elevator pitch would be that we provide efficacious treatment utilizing lower level of actives using our patent pending siren capsule technology.
Awesome.
So how does having a founder on your team who is also a trusted voice in the fashion and the beauty industry, how is it for your strategy as a brand?
I think it helps, right? So Tina, when she first came to Katie Borghese, who's her partner in this venture, she was really looking for something that was different and would avoid some of the cosmetic confusion that exists out there. And so Katie had this idea, which was always in the back of her mind, around how do we prevent or reduce the number of products that we require as a female skincare user. And so they basically came up with this technology, and that was the ask to the labs in Italy that we work with. They basically came up with this technology, and Tina's obviously the who's who in the influencer space. She has a ton of great connections, so she shared it with some of her friends, and her friends were like, "What is this miracle cream?" And that's really where the brand found it from. It was really meant to be just like a single supply run that we were doing, and it actually ended up being something much bigger than that. So they did an initial run, and they partnered with a partner and sold out of that product 3 times. And then it evolved from there into kind of where the brand is right now.
Yeah, it's incredible. Where are your products sold? Let's break down to some of the business elements here.
Yeah, so our products are sold at Saks, Nordstrom's, Blue Mercury. We're fully distributed in every door there. Neiman's, Bergdorf Goodman. We're also sold at Harrods. So definitely more of your luxury kind of marketplaces.
You certainly hit a bunch of them.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have a large presence on Amazon too, and our DTC business is obviously a lion's share of our business right now.
I was going to ask that. So your D2C, your direct-to-consumer e-commerce site is where you do a large portion of your sales, I'm guessing, right?
Correct, yeah.
Got it. And Amazon's an interesting one for me because, Amazon has struggled to, really break into the luxury space for many years. I know recently they certainly have gotten, great brands like yours that are luxury driven. The interesting thing about Amazon is you're in a world where there may be other products that are not in the same space, unlike being in Saks or Neiman's or a place like that, where the atmosphere is about luxury. And you also don't get necessarily the information about your customers. So tell me a little bit about the strategy for Amazon. Why is that, part of your campaign?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, there's definitely a more affluent consumer who's shopping at Amazon, especially the prime consumer, definitely over indexes for, higher net worth. And, more and more consumers are utilizing Amazon for their beauty product purchases. I think actually Amazon is the largest beauty product purveyor right now. So they sell the most products, even more than Sephora. And so, for us, it's just meeting our audience where they are. One of the things which we've done personally is we actually utilize Amazon Clean Room, and we actually marry our e-commerce customer level information with Amazon customer level information, and we're able to match that and identify holistically what our new customer rate is across both platforms.
Wait, so you're able to match demographics that you get from Amazon about your shoppers to information you get regularly, and you're able to get a really close customer profile, I'm guessing.
Actually, it's actually individual users. So Amazon has a clean room as part of AMC, which is Amazon's marketing cloud. And you're basically able to upload a hashed audience file there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Amazon will then match that against their audience file, and they'll send you the information back around who was matching. And yeah, you can identify a true new customer acquisition rate there.
Ah, that's very interesting. So how would you describe your target market, your best buyer, your best customer?
Yeah, we have different personas. I mean, I would say, our target persona, if we had to choose one, is, females between the ages of 25 to 55, higher net worth. So definitely over indexing in the income. We see a lot from urban areas too. So New York, LA, the typical markets which you would expect. We're very much performant in those markets too. So.
Got it.
You just announced a partnership with Michelle Monaghan last week, I believe. And so, how has your influencer marketing strategy has evolved over the time?
Our partnership with Michelle is very different than our traditional influencer partnerships. We're going more narrow and deep with her. She's very much invested into the brand and feels like she's a part of the brand too. And so, I think that we've worked with her to create this campaign, which is called Meet You in Your Moment, which is really, I think, speaks to a lot of women and females out there around, aging is not a linear kind of function. And so we're shifting kind of a little bit of a model in terms of how we've messaged that. And I think that ultimately what we're trying to say is that, previously your 30s were your 20s, your 40s were your 30s. We're trying to say, let's scrap away with that whole idea, and let's think not of age as linear, like a linear function, but as more of the aging progresses, and it's something which is nice, which actually happens to the human body. Obviously, we're promoting our skincare brand along with Michelle. She has tried all of our products while filming her new show. And so, yeah, it was a great experience for us, and we're really happy to have that partnership.
Any early results from that partnership that you can share?
Yeah, no, we've seen definitely some great improvements in brand awareness. I think that's really one of the main areas that we're focused on. So, preliminary results, albeit very early on, look very promising.
So I guess Michelle would be part of an affiliate program. She's an affiliate seller. Do you have an affiliate program, like a formalized affiliate program?
We do. Michelle's not part of actually our affiliate program, so
Okay.
she doesn't do any codes necessarily or any direct response activations with us. What we have is we do have an affiliate program where we have nanos, your micros, all the way up to obviously like a macro influencer, let's say called Tinks, etc. So yeah, I mean, I think the way that we think about it is as a hierarchy. So we'll do gifting for affiliate partners at the nano level. We'll do more at the micro level. We'll do a rev share agreement with them and provide them with a code. And then for the macros, it's really kind of getting more narrow and deep with them too. So we'll do things where we do a flat fee or In the case of Tinks, which is one of our successful celebrity partners from last year, we actually created a new product in conjunction with her and her team, and that was a great,
Amazing.
great success too.
Do you ever tap into the your best customers and try to reach your next set of customers through their networks?
Yeah, we've done some of that. I think that there's definitely an opportunity for us to further develop our Refer a Friend program. We definitely utilize them for product feedback. So we do also utilize them also for understanding what products we should develop next. I think that's really something that's important, is you listen to your consumer, understand what they're looking for. I mean, we did one last year where they said they wanted a neck cream. So in Q4 of last year, we launched a neck cream. So
I could use one of those myself, actually.
yeah, I think, understanding your consumer is really important.
Yeah.
When you work with influencers, do you also work with influencers that are also professionals, like derms, that have
Yes.
large followings? And
Yeah.
are these driving a lot of response for you, traffics or sales?
Yeah, I think people love hearing from clinical authorities, so your derms. We have a partnership with Dr. Dan Belkin. He's a famous New York City dermatologist, but we also have other influencers that we work with on a regular cadence who are derms or estheticians. We have an esthetician program on our website too, where a customer can come and actually speak with a skincare professional, and they'll actually provide them feedback and advice. So that's a
Interesting.
great
How
one.
did they do that? Through a chat or
It's actually done through SMS.
okay?
So the customer takes an on-site survey basically, and then they're connected via SMS to an esthetician.
This line of questioning is particularly interesting to Karina and I because I think, as you know, we developed a software called Replica Software, and we power a lot of skincare brands' social selling activities and affiliate sales activities. And what we've noticed is a definitive uptick in the amount of professional users that brands are tapping into, and trying to reach their target audiences through the network of professionals. So whether it's Skin Better Science or SkinCeuticals or other brands around the
Yeah.
world, would definitely have seen an uptick in utilizing that product expert and doing it in a way that's kind of organic, right? They can just kind of sign them up, if you will, and encourage them to keep speaking about your brand. And when those conversations turn into sales, then they are also compensated for that. Just as if you were in their store, in their spa, and you would make a recommendation and they would purchase it right there in the spot. So it's kind of driving that same consumer behavior on e-commerce. So it is interesting that you are also tapping into those network of experts. Sounds like that's maybe one area of growth for you as you look forward.
Absolutely. I think that derms is definitely an area, and we are expanding our SPAR partnerships. So we have, I can't speak to it, but there's a lot more which is going to be happening in that space very soon. So we're very excited about the potential of that space.
Incredible. I mean, you have a broad range of products too. Do you concentrate on any, because I notice you have, for the body, for the face, and you have a really a pretty large set of products at this point, and they're all beautifully packaged. I encourage all of you, if you're listening to this podcast, to check out the website because these are beautifully packaged products and obviously work well. But do you concentrate, is there like one area that you really, use as your leader and then kind of open people up to the brand, or is it, specific to give us a little information on that.
Our first two products were the resurfacing compound and super hydrator. I think those two really are our key products that we try to acquire new customers with, just because they're such important parts of a consumer's regimen that we want to be part of developing that regimen. And the Duo is a great entry point to do that. The resurfacing compound has multiple benefits. So, it can replace up to 8 different serums or treatments that a consumer is using. So, that's a great product. And consumers definitely love to start with those two products initially. Our hydrator is also really, really great. Had a lot of celebrity press mentions in the past. It's used by supermodels, etc. So I think that's definitely an area that we focus on, is acquiring customers with those two products in particular.
And would you say that the consumer that is most likely to buy your products would be a more sophisticated user of skincare products?
I don't necessarily think so. We do definitely over-index for the skin care experts, I would say, or more well-versed in the skincare space consumer. But, we definitely do appeal also to people who are entering the skincare market for the first time. And so we've seen, I think, a variety of different customers within our customer base, from the skin experts all the way down to, this is the first product I've ever used on my skin. I've never trusted anything else. And,
Right.
I think that it's time for me to kind of step into utilizing skincare products.
That makes for an interesting conversation with your potential consumers because, you kind of need to know the avenue or who you're speaking to. It sounds like obviously you have products that are at a higher, some of them are at a higher price point and, quite clear in their usage factor. And then you have other products that are maybe people with less sophistication on how to take care of the largest organ in their body, their skin. Do you use different messaging strategies to reach these different types of audiences?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that it's really important that you speak to the audience. So when I was mentioning earlier, kind of the personas, we've developed personas for each one
Hmm.
of these different customers. There's also the high-low consumer. It's another type of consumer that we have. So the consumer who really utilizes only one expensive product, and maybe they utilize the rest of her regimen is a drugstore brand, right?
Right.
And so there's definitely different kind of messaging and different benefits that we speak to for different personas and different audiences.
And just one more quick thing before we look to wrap up. I'm kind of curious with all of the affiliates you work with, and obviously the professional influencers that you have mentioned today. What do you do with the content that they create? Do you ever repurpose it for use on your own platforms? I mean, obviously it's being posted on the influencers channels, and I'm guessing
Yeah.
you're reposting. That's the obvious one. But we've seen a lot of skincare brands recently bring in that social context either onto their website so that people coming to the website can shop by inspiration, or even on the product pages where you're showing people how it is actually used. Do you head down that pathway as well? Do you utilize your content that's being
Yeah.
created?
Yeah, we utilize it on site. In addition to that, we also whitelist a lot of the content too, right? So where we're running ads through the influencer's handle, or through UBeauty's handle, and drive traffic that way to the website. Obviously, organic socials, table stakes at this point, so we do that too. But yeah, I mean, I think that whitelisting is definitely a strategy that we're leaning into.
Right.
So
Awesome.
looking ahead, what digital innovation or trend excites you the most in e-commerce?
I I personally think that, we're trying to divest our risk away from Meta, which I think 99% of e-commerce brands at this point struggle with. Is Meta is the most performant channel. I think that there's interesting new channels which are popping up. Um, one of the ones which we've tested has been Agentio, which is in-read kind of podcasts, and YouTube in-read kind of ads. And that's been something which has been pretty compelling and interesting for us to test. CTV is also something which we're dabbling in right now too, with Michelle Monaghan campaign. So I think that's definitely an interesting channel for us too. And then obviously I think from a technology standpoint, there's always consistent evolution in the tech stack. You look at your Shopify storefront and the way that it was built with 1.0, and then now all of the platform or all of the websites have moved over to 2.0, and there's kind of a shift to and the hydrogen oxygen framework too. So there's a lot of different things which are happening, I think, in this space, which are exciting. AI is obviously something huge, which is being spoken about a lot too. whether that be for creative, ad copy, email, audience segmentation. There's a ton of application for that too. So I would say that, all of those things are important, and being at the forefront is really important as an e-commerce leader.
So it's safe to say the future excites you for two reasons. One is the possibilities for reaching new audiences with new platforms that are developing. So let's call that distribution of messaging. And the other one is, the ability to change your creative and really tell different stories and really segment your stories because of the technology that exists today. That a fair statement?
Yep.
Well, this is exactly what our podcast is about. Just trying to cut through the clutter and figure out, what's new, what's different, how brands are utilizing it. So, for you listeners out there, if you haven't already, be sure to explore YouBeauty's products at youbeauty.com and follow along on social for the latest high-performance skincare innovations and products. Thanks again for joining. We'll see you again soon.